morning and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Sugar with Sugar in the Attic Homestead, and this morning I am going to make some meatballs. As you see on the thumbnail, there are so many uses for meatballs. The first thing that I do is I get these surgeon's gloves and I put them on. That's just me. I don't like to mess with meat, raw meat. Don't ask me. I just don't like it. So, got the gloves on, and I'm ready to go. I looked in the refrigerator, and I thought, what is sitting around that I need to use? Well, I have just a little bit of corn, so I'm going to put these in the meatballs. We want to use everything that we have. We don't want to waste anything. Black pepper, I'm saying about a good teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to put that in here. And then I have some dried onion. I'm going to mix that in. All these will be mixed by hand for meatballs. So you don't have to worry about the onion staying dry. It could be crunchy. That'd be even better. Another thing that I have a couple of eggs. And they're room temperature. I'll go ahead and put these eggs in. And I'll mix them by hand when I make the meatballs. I'll mix them into this ground beef. Now this is 2 pounds of ground beef. And as you see in that pan over there, I had made bacon earlier. So I'm going to use the bacon grease to cook these meatballs. So let's get started mixing the meatballs. We're going to mix all the ingredients in thoroughly. We're going to try not to spill it all over the place. Sometimes it happens. So we're going to mix this up. Even the corn goes in. And it's 2 pounds of ground beef. And I'm only going to put in pepper, because the bacon grease is going to have salt, naturally have salt. And my gloves are coming off. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some meatballs. I am not going to put any bread product in there because I have corn. I just take a little bit of meat mixture and make it into a little meatball. Then I put it in the pan. I'll fill the pan with these meatballs, cover them for just a minute, and let them cook about 10 minutes, watching them, turning them as needed. And as I said, meatballs are very versatile. You can do a lot of things with meatballs. You can have an Asian meatball dish. You could have a meatball sub. Of course, spaghetti meatballs. You can have these as an appetizer. The holidays are here and you may want something completely different. This utilizes everything in your prepper, freezer, pantry, and refrigerator. You could add other vegetables. You could stretch this and put in cooked lentils. You can put these over rice, put them over rice, noodles, any kind of pasta. You could even put them over steel cut oats because it would act like a rice. I'm trying to make these as uniform as I possibly can, but I want to get as many as I can in the pan at once, because once they start to cook, I don't want to have to put some more gloves back on and do that again. I want to fill up that pan. And it utilizes the bacon grease that I had before from the bacon that I cooked. So I'm not wasting that. That was in the refrigerator the whole time. So I'm gonna make these meatballs, and you could also add jalapeno peppers if you'd like to spice it up. You can make these plain and add the sauce later. There's so many different ways that you can serve these meatballs. And then they taste different every time. And it's just a plain meatball. You don't have to add the corn. I just had that in there and there was a little bit left. And I thought, I'm going to throw them in these meatballs. Throw that in the meatballs. I've never done that. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to bring you back in a few minutes. I'm going to take these gloves off and I'll get some new gloves. And I'm going to cook these a little bit and I'll bring you back to show you how they're cooking. Well, I'm glad you stayed with me in my kitchen, and the meatballs are browning nicely. It's still on the first side, but that's the bacon grease. Again, I do not want to waste anything. And after this, the bacon grease will be all used, and the pan will be cleaned until the next time. Now let's cook these meatballs, and I'll bring you right back. The meatballs are coming along nicely. I've turned them on the second side. I'll give them about 5 minutes, but I'll check for doneness to make sure that there's no red on the inside, and then I'll pull them out and put them on a plate and I'll show you how they turned out. Well, here are the meatballs. They're not exactly round, but that's okay. They're going to fit on a sandwich, they're going to fit over noodles, rice, whatever sauce you want to put with them. I used a lot of things in the prepper refrigerator, freezer, and pantry, and I used up some leftovers. It's always nice to throw some leftovers together and get a good meal. I'm glad you stopped by in my kitchen to see how I'm working with all the leftovers and making new meals. Subscribe, like, share with your friends. I'll see you next time in my kitchen. Stop by anytime.